Just left my doctor's appointment visit. My blood pressure is high, so they're sending me to the hospital to monitor my blood pressure and see if it goes back down to normal. Your girl is swollen like crazy. I've been telling y'all that.
Deep breath.
Okay, big deep breath, and let's do it again.
Push.
1, 2, yes, okay. Look down at your baby, Maddie. 12:39. We have a girl.
We have a newborn around the body.
Okay. Is that really a newborn?
Glam fam, your girl has given birth, as I have told you guys. If I seem a little bit awkward, I'm just now getting acclimated to really sitting down and recording again, so bear with me, honey. But yes, you guys, your girl has given birth, so I did want to come on here and share with you guys my labor and delivery. My whole entire delivery was recorded. I'm not sure if I'll post it or not because it's something that is extremely intimate. If I do, there's a lot that I'm going to cut out. But I did want to come on here and talk to you guys and share with you all my overall story. Of course, my baby girl was born premature. I gave birth right at the 36-week mark. I was like a few days into being 36 weeks, give or take. And you guys, whoo, child, the story is one for the books. Okay, so let's start. Let's talk about it. So as I have been telling you guys, your girl was extremely swollen. Okay, I was super duper swollen. It was some abnormal swelling. I'm talking about feet swollen, hands swollen, everything on my body was swollen. And not only were my feet and hands visibly swollen as well as for my face, but my stomach also had fluid around it as well, okay? So I went in for my doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment on the 27th of June with my OBGYN. And of course, you know, I had started having appointments weekly at this point so that he could monitor my blood pressure, because the week prior, they had already sent in for a blood pressure machine for me and different stuff like that so that they can monitor my blood pressure from at home because of the severe swelling that I was experiencing. Now, slight swelling during pregnancy is of course a fairly normal, but if you're swollen like how I was swollen, honey, you know that there's something going on. So he didn't want to quite name it as preeclampsia yet. He was of course waiting to see how my blood pressure results would come back and go from there, of course. So disappointment. I went in, y'all. I was not expecting anything that transpired to transpire. You guys, all I knew that I was going in for a doctor's appointment per usual, as I do every week at this point since I'm in my 3rd trimester. And you guys, my blood pressure was sky high. Okay, I think she said it was 146/80 or something like that, right? Ridiculous, right? So she said, because I knew it was something going on when she did this arm, and she was like, you know what, let me do the other arm. So she did it on this arm, and she said, it's a little bit high, because I asked her, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, why do you have to switch the arm? And if you hear my baby girl, she's in here with me. But anyways, you guys, so she switched it to the other arm, and you guys, it was definitely very high. I went in and I spoke to my doctor that day, and he of course, you know, took her heartbeat and things like that with the Doppler, and that was that. He told me to go straight to the hospital after I left the doctor's office. Okay, so I'm thinking, you know what, when we get to the doctor's office, it's gonna be fine. Okay, my blood pressure will probably have went down by then, whatever, right? This is what I'm thinking. We get to the hospital, they take my blood pressure there. It had went up some more. So I told you guys at the doctor's office it was 144. When I got to the emergency room, it was 146. Okay, so it was steadily creeping up. Okay, my blood pressure was going up and up and up and up. Now, I'm not going to say that I didn't think that I was prone to preeclampsia. For those of you guys that do not know, me and my sister were born 2 months early due to my mom having severe preeclampsia, okay? By the time that we were born, my mom was dang near on her deathbed, okay? It's like a silent killer, all right? So, of course, you swell, which is expected during pregnancy, but it's like severe swelling. And not only that, you guys, not only that, but it's like you're almost at stroke level and you don't even know it because you can't really feel it, right? I had symptoms of preeclampsia in the months prior to this. I was having headaches, I was dizzy, I would get the spots in my eye, but it was stuff that I really wouldn't pay too much attention to because of the fact anytime I went to my doctor, he said, oh, well, your blood pressure isn't high, so you're fine, right? So anyway, that's that. We make it to the emergency room, and you know, they put me in triage in order to monitor Royal's heartbeat and just monitor, you know, her overall movements and things like that. And you guys, we ended up stuck in the hospital for 5 days. Okay, 5 days. Now, I did not give birth until the 29th, so I ended up in the hospital on the 27th. And you guys, this first day, you know, it was basically them taking blood. They would not allow me to eat when I got there. I wasn't able to eat for hours, so I was starving because I chose not to eat on the way to the hospital, because me, in my mind, I'm still thinking, you know what, I'm going to end up going home. This is going to be something that is super duper simple, whatever. We're going to go to this hospital, my blood pressure is going to be back down, so I'm not even going to worry about eating anything. Thankfully, all of my hospital bags were already packed because they were needed. Thankfully, all of my stuff was already ready to go to the hospital, you know, because they tell you to pack your hospital bag, I think, in about 30 weeks, right? So it had been packed for weeks. Anyways, you guys, so we're at the hospital, in triage, all that happens, all that transpires, and they come in later that night and they say, well, we're gonna go ahead and move you to a room. We're gonna keep you because your blood pressure is high. Your blood pressure is still high, right? So they ended up moving me into a room for the night, and you guys, there I laid thinking, I'm not gonna go home without delivering this baby. I kept asking anytime one of the nurses came in, I was like, well, if my blood pressure goes down, will you guys let me go home? No. Your blood pressure is ridiculously high, and in pregnancy, they don't even want your blood pressure to go over 140. So I was stuck there, you guys. I could not get up and go to the bathroom because I remember I was tied to so many different wires and things like that, from them pumping fluid in me, from them trying to monitor my blood pressure and things like that. So I would have to ask the nurse to help me to go tinkle every time that I had to go. And you guys, that was that. Now, my nurse's name was Mimi, so shout out to Mimi. I loved Mimi, okay? I didn't get to see her my last few days there, but she was awesome. So, anyways, all that transpired, and that was the first night there. Later that night, before 12, they did allow me to eat. I had some chicken nuggets from Wendy's, honey, and it was like a gourmet meal to me. Okay, I was tearing them chicken nuggets up, okay? And I did not know that that was the last time that I was going to get to eat for the next 3 days, okay? Because if I knew that, I would have ate more. So boom, that was that on that. That was the first night there. My mom had started calling everyone and letting everyone know that I was in the hospital and that they were not letting me out. Okay. The next day rolls around, and the doctor comes in and she says, we're gonna go ahead and induce you, okay, because your blood pressure is still high. It reached a height of being like 160 that night. You guys, it was absolutely ridiculous. It was a super duper high. So she said, we're gonna go ahead and induce you. Baby probably won't be here until the following day, but we're gonna go ahead and get the labor process started, okay? So you might experience some contractions and things like that, because they kept checking my cervix and I was not dilated at all, okay? Baby girl was not ready to come out. She had been head down for weeks, but she was not ready to enter this world, okay? So anyways, that happened. She came in and she told me that, and I was a ball of emotions. I was excited, I was nervous, I was an array of different things, because you know, you hear so much about labors being induced, okay? And I almost wanted to go into labor naturally. You know, I was praying my whole entire pregnancy that I would be able to make it to the finish line, as to where I could do everything naturally, like my body can do what it's supposed to do naturally. But I was swelling up like a well so big that it's like, okay, we need to get this baby out of here, because if we don't, you and the baby gonna die, right? So anyways, all of that happened, all of that took place, and they ended up rolling me into the labor and delivery room. Of course, I don't remember everything detail for detail. at this point. It's almost kind of like a blur, which thankfully I have the footage that I do have, because y'all, without that footage I would not know half of the things that are taking place. So I will be posting bits and pieces of that here and there. But you guys, they rolled me to the labor and delivery room, and I sat there like, oh my gosh, like this is real. Y'all know the little heated area that they put the babies in once the baby is born. I'm looking at it and I'm looking around this delivery room and I'm like, I'm really about to have a baby, and I'm about to have my baby early, okay? So the day that I came in the hospital on the 27th, I was already having contractions, but I could not feel them, okay? My body was literally numb to the contractions, and I'm the type of person where typically I have a high pain tolerance, okay? Y'all know that I have did a lot of dental work. I typically have a very high pain tolerance. I realized that when I was getting dental work done, okay? More so than anything else. So anyways, she let me know that I was wheeled into this labor and delivery room, and y'all, it was go time for me, okay? So their goal was to dilate my cervix. So they inserted this small little pill, I'm not sure what it's called, in my hoo-ha, and that was supposed to help to speed up the labor and delivery process. Also, they had me on magnesium so that my blood pressure could kind of level out somewhat. It could lower because it was extremely high, you guys. And they had me on something else. I think it was the magnesium or Pitocin, or one of the two, that made my heart rate elevate through the roof, okay? So I literally felt like I was dying, okay? I'm sitting there like, why is my heart beating so fast? Like, I got to the point where I became anxious. I was crying. I was emotional because my heart rate was literally through the damn roof, okay? So anyways, that happened. They inserted the pill, and this was the start of labor. So further on into that day, I started experiencing real contractions, okay, as to where I could actually feel them. So I was like, you know what? I need the epidural, okay? Because it got to the point where it was super duper intense, and it was more so not even about the contractions, I don't think, because contractions really aren't that bad. To me, they just felt like period cramps. But I wanted the epidural because, y'all, I was irritated being in this hospital for one. And the fact that I was in pain made it worse. The fact that people come around and they rub you and whatever, it really just irritated my soul, okay? So I was having contractions. I started having them, you know, further on, I guess, as the pill kind of started to soak into my cervix. And you guys, they progressively got worse and worse. And not only that, but my contractions were coming too fast, okay? So that's one of the reasons why I asked for epidural, because they got to the point where they were coming every minute, okay? I literally felt like I was dying, okay? There was a contraction every single minute, and I could deal with them as long as they were not coming at that steady pace, right? So what she did was she put something in order to make the contractions come a little bit slower, and by then they were coming like every 5 minutes, okay? Anyways, so that happened, that transpired, and later on that night I was really in pain, okay? I was really in pain. So I think either it was that same day or something, but I went ahead and took the epidural, and that was it, you guys. And I was like, where the hell is everybody at? Because my epidural kept going down. Like, I kept running out of like liquid in order to numb the pain or something. Y'all, I don't even know what half of this stuff is called. I was there, but like I said, it was a big blur. So I kept running out of that liquid, and it was just a crazy process. Y'all, I can't even remember everything verbatim. I just remember like the way that I was feeling in that moment, and I was like, y'all need to get this baby out of me, okay? So by the time midnight rolled around, it was dang near go time. Now my doctor had already told me, he said your pelvic bones, they're built quite interesting, okay? Different from the average woman, okay? My overall body makeup, my overall build, he's looking at it and he was like, I think you're gonna have to have a C-section, right? He just looked and filled around with my body, and that was his thought process towards it. He was like, I don't think you're gonna be able to push her out. My mom is built the same exact way as me, And of course, me and my sister were both born through a C-section, right? So since Royal was so small, she was an itty bitty little thing. My baby was only 5 pounds 8 ounces when she was born. He was like, you know what, you may be able to try. My biggest thing was I was scared of tearing. I was scared of ripping down there, right? This was my fear. And he said, no, 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 you will not tear, whatever. This is what he told me. So we went ahead and got with it, okay? That morning on the 29th, I remember being in so much pain. I was hollering, I was screaming. I said, please help me, please, please, please get this baby out of me, please. Y'all, you just be in go mode, like whatever. I don't even care if I tear, if I rip down to my booty hole at this point. It does not even matter. I'm just ready for this baby to get out of me, okay? So anyways, the 29th rolled around, and they came in that morning about 8 a.m. and was like, it looks like you're gonna have a baby today. So by the time that 12 p.m. rolled around, you guys, it was go time. It was go time. And I remember being so scared that when they were raising me up to go into labor, I started crying. And she was like, don't cry now, you're about to meet your baby girl. And I was so emotional because I said, I'm so scared. All of a sudden those emotions kicked in, right? Because I'm like, what is going on? And for those of y'all that do not know, I'm very sensitive when it comes to this region down here, okay? I don't, girl, y'all should have saw me get a pap smear once. I literally almost fainted getting a pap smear. I do not like people messing with my private area, my lady bits. And my mom looked at me and she said, I don't even know how you got pregnant, honey. And I looked back at her and I said, I don't know how either. Immaculate conception, is that you? But anyways, the labor and delivery process was quite smooth. There were a few times in between the pushes that I was like, I'm not able to do this. I'm not capable of doing this. And I was. So my baby girl was born at 12:39 p.m. and she weighed 5 pounds 8 ounces, and she is just the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in my life. I would love to pick her up, but y'all, she is so asleep right now, and I just do not want to piss her off, because then she get to looking for milk and feeling around, and she has her little lips puckered up right now. Y'all, my baby is so beautiful. And I'm not just saying it because she looked like me. I'm saying she is so beautiful. The most beautiful little human I have ever seen in my life. And yeah, but you guys, that was my labor and delivery story. Of course, there's a lot of things that I probably left out. But I will probably be reiterating as time goes on. If there's things that I forgot, I'll talk a little bit more about it in the future. But I ended up staying in the hospital for a whole entire 5 days, I want to say, because my blood pressure was still super duper high. It was still very elevated. It was crazy, you guys. I was dang near paralyzed after giving birth because I had a catheter in, and I was super duper nervous for them to put a catheter in as well, you guys. Oh my gosh, that was something else in itself. It was so uncomfortable having it in, and then of course over time I got accustomed to it, so I didn't have to get up to go pee. I was just basically confined to my hospital bed, and they would come in and they would empty the bag, and that was it. But y'all, I was so swollen that anytime that they would have to stick me with a needle, it would hurt so bad, because literally there were no prominent veins that you could literally see, okay? But yeah, that was that. I am so thankful that I eventually got up to walk. Y'all, it literally looked like I had never walked a day in my life. Royal's dad helped me a lot with walking, thankfully. And yeah, my family was there, thankfully. Everyone just helped me out so much during the process, so I'm so grateful for that. But you guys, my labor and delivery went nothing like how I expected it to go. It was something that was all over the place, and on the 4th day I finally got to eat again. I was starving. I was so happy to eat food, and then I got to the point where I really couldn't eat or drink again, okay? Because my stomach was so weak, because of course I was not accustomed to eating or drinking anymore. So anyways, that's that. So I'm gonna grab little Miss Royal so you guys can see the back of her head, okay? Because y'all know how I feel about kids being on social media. I feel like social media is not the place for children. But I don't mind y'all getting a little sneak peek of the back of my baby's head, okay? So anyways, don't be concerned about how she looks, because she looks like me, okay? She's just a little bit lighter and she got her daddy's lips in his eyes, but she looks like me. So there's that. So let me grab her really quickly. So anyways, you guys, here's my sweet little girl. She was sleeping, so she's gonna be upset at me in a second, but you guys, I just had to pop in and share her with you guys. I'm gonna let her get the rest of her sleep out because she's probably irritated with me right now, but it's my little girl. Here's my little girl. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my pregnancy journey, okay? I think I still have some pregnancy footage that I haven't quite posted yet, so you guys may have some of that coming towards you guys very, very soon. But yes, me and little Miss Royal are about to, y'all need to brush her hair. She has super duper long hair in the back, and you guys up here, I don't think her hair finished growing in properly in the womb, okay, because we just kind of ripped her out of there. So I need to brush her hair. But anyways, you guys, thank you all so much for watching my journey. I think she's pooing. My sweet girl. That's my sweet girl. Oh yeah, y'all, she's pooing. So I'm gonna holler at y'all in a second. I don't know why you waited until you got on camera to do all this, little girl. But I'm gonna holler at you guys soon, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, okay? And I'll see y'all. I gotta go change a diaper. Okay, toodles.
Cause you are as sweet as can be, and I feel the bitterness